Hey, Brother Jabril, this is Exposure. Exposure Saturday 27th. This is going to be the first time we've done a Saturday event in probably quite a long, actually forever. So this is going to be exciting. We've also added on a few new elements to the Exposure. We've actually created a crew as well as developed a host of people who have a common interest with us, which is one of the reasons why we're here today. Our special guest today is Chris Thomas, aka Young Chris, number one, a member of the world famous Havocoro breakdance crew, as well as a multifaceted dancer from the aspect of street dance to interpretive dance to jazz and various other forms. He is kind of, for us, in terms of house music culture, he is the kind of the completion. When you have a culture, you have the art, of course, of the music, and then you have the DJ. It's very similar to breakdancing, where you also, rather I should say hip hop, where you have the break dance, the dance. So Chris represents not only that in a house music sense, but also in terms of hip hop. So he's a member of the underground scene, and as well, he sits in the forefront for that as a performer. And I'm very glad to have him today. Welcome to the show, my friend. How you doing?
Man, I'm great. Thank you for having me, hitting me up. I'm grateful to be a part of this, It's always good when people, recognize what you do and how you do it. I don't take that lightly. So thank you again for sure, making this happen.
Well, we felt like it was a natural fit to have somebody like you as part of our organization, so to speak.
Yeah, thank you.
We do seek to make this a little bit more of an all-encompassing, like. I talked to you a little bit about, like, I really want to kind of help develop and build the culture for house music in the city, and I
Yeah,
think the way that we do that is by also introducing the dance element of what we do,
yeah.
and the roots of that. And so, yeah, that's what our talk is going to be about today. We're going to dive in a little bit with you
Cool.
and
Good.
find out everything there is to know about young Chris.
Bam, bam,
Beep, beep, beep,
bam.
beep, beep. I know I need that, man. I'm not a real DJ. So, what led you to house music? How did you come into house music, Chris?
What happened to me in house music is something that I describe to everyone. I put it this way: you don't necessarily choose house music. I believe house music chooses you.
That's very
and
true.
uh, and I think that's what happened to me. Didn't so Here's a story, short story. My crew was getting ready for a show. I think it was Joel and Rick, getting ready for like a Milan Outdoor show, whatnot, and they asked me to be a part of it. So I was like, okay, cool, yeah, let's do it. So they started playing with this style of music, and they started doing choreography to this movement, dancing to this music. And at that point, I wasn't familiar with house music or house movement. And I was instantly hooked. I mean, like first rehearsal type situation, like, yo, like give me these tracks so I can go practice or whatnot. And ever since that moment, I've been glued to house music.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just mentioned Little Rick, right?
Little
Or
Rick.
was
It
it
was a,
Big
yeah,
Rick? Okay,
a Little
Little
Rick,
Rick,
Little Rick. Yeah.
aka Rick Camargo,
Yeah.
and Felix.
Joel.
Oh,
No,
Joel.
well, it was Joel.
Joel, yes.
Yes.
Man, both of those cats used to be like fixtures in the
Yeah.
at every room I played. It was awesome, man.
Nice. So
Yeah,
yeah, they
so
introduced me to house music.
yeah, man, those guys are those guys are OG triple OGs.
Triples at this point.
How did the interaction with Havocor? I remember you being a young guy, kind of running around in the dance scene,
Yeah.
and then how did the Havocoro metamorphosis happen for
Okay.
you?
Unlike everyone else that's in Havocoro or that was in on the scene, underground scene during that time, not just in Havocoro, but just in general. I didn't start dancing until I didn't start seriously dancing or training until I was like 21. And I reached for the first thing that was available to me, which was at that time, it was a commercial studio by the name of Planet Funk. So I was doing shows with Planet Funk. I was taking classes or whatnot. And one day I was just on the internet. I think, fuck, I don't want to give my age. I was on the internet social media site that wasn't Instagram. No, I ain't tripping. I would think I was on like, this is like the later days of MySpace. I want to say this is like
Okay.
this is the ending of it.
I think that's respectable. Not, you know, if
Yeah,
you
I
say
wasn't the prime.
Friendster.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't the prime. It was the ending of it. Maybe the last
Yeah.
week of MySpace. But UrgeWorks had a flyer, audition flyer, and UrgeWorks was, of course, the educational aspect of Havocoro. UrgeWorks was the company that did the school shows or whatnot, and Havocoro, of course, was the world renowned breaking crew.
Shout out Chris Gamez,
Yes, shout out to Cold Cuts.
Cold Cuts.
Yeah, so I seen that flyer and didn't know anyone. Of course, I didn't know anyone in the crew. Or not. It was just an audition flyer to me. And back then, like it was auditions everywhere. It was always some type of audition. So this is me just being hungry and ambitious and looking for more opportunities. So I pull up to auditions, and that was the first time seeing me. My first time seeing them. I auditioned and I made it. And I made it to UrgeWorks, not Havocoro. It was UrgeWorks just to do school shows or whatnot. And at that moment in time is where I got introduced to like hip hop. As far as like the four elements, as far as like breaking, as far as like, you know, like hip hop dance, freestyle dance or whatnot. And I never turned back to Planet Funk. At that moment, I stopped going to Planet Funk because I was captivated with this because it was raw. It was organized, you know, and it was a lot of things that I couldn't do. I didn't know anything about it, so I was willing to learn. I was signing myself up to be more so a student than a performer. So of course, over the years, dancing with UrgeWorks and whatnot, I kind of I guess grew in the ranks to where I was like a main member of UrgeWorks, to where I was actually on the microphone and dancing, you know, playing music or whatever. I was able to do everything because I learned everything. And then from there, I started going to the practice sessions with Havocoro because, of course, like I said, that's UrgeWorks was the educational side. So when they would go to the practice sessions, I'll pull up. And Mario was the person that really kind of like, you know what I'm saying, put his arm around me. He's like, yo, um, maybe you need to start going here and here and teach you this here. Oh, and by the way, we're having practices every Friday night at Felix's house. So I started going to Felix's house every Friday night, and it was hip hop and house. I mean, it was just, I mean, practicing hard, like 3, 4 hours, like sweaty floor, like change shirts type situation, like back and forth. And I was just taking it all in. Of course, I throw myself in for what I knew or whatever. But I was just around greatness, you know. I was just around people that was way better than me. Not like a little bit better than me, but way better than me. Um, so
I mean, that's how you get
I
better,
mean,
bro. You don't
it's how
get
you get
better
better.
training
So
with people with that are less skilled than you. You know, you don't.
exactly,
You
yeah,
only make them
yeah,
better. You
sure,
know. Yeah.
exactly. So
I remember
after,
you. Sorry to interrupt, but I remember you also having. I remember back when we were doing. Man, I think I could think back to when we were doing Trip into Love, the Wednesday event. You would show up and you would have flyers for a house. Either it was house lessons, house dancing lessons, or house dancing night that you did. It was called
Lions Den,
something Lions Den. Yes.
yes.
What
So
year
yeah,
was that?
I have no idea. I haven't, man. If I can find a flyer, that'd be great. So, yeah, Lions Den was again around the same time I was practicing at Felix's house.
Yeah.
So Lions Den happened on Sunday at it was the Barnum-Builder, I think then. So we would do like a 2 hour practice session and then like a Bible study right after.
Yeah.
So that's when I started integrating like the faith with the dance. And then for like all of that was happening, going to the events, practicing and whatnot. So I started traveling with Havocoro. Havocoro had a contract with the U.S. Embassy, so they would fly us over as cultural diplomats, teaching hip hop culture, which is a subculture of American culture.
Right.
So, and the only reason I got that opportunity is because like one year someone couldn't go, and I was the next person up that knew material they can trust outside the country, and from there I didn't turn back. And then we were in Israel. I still remember the moment. Like I don't forget anything. I keep all my stuff. As you can see, I got
You
more
got. I'm sure you
memorabilia
got the
around.
receipts, bro. I'm
I
sure you
keep
got it.
everything. We were in Israel because we did a tour with Israel. We did a tour in Israel and Palestine. It's crazy what's happening right now. Like I
Yeah.
was actually there on both sides of the wall, not just one side.
Yeah.
And Mario, we was at a restaurant. They had they had a band and whatnot. We kind of just dancing, having a good time. He was like, "Yo, I want you to my crew," and I was like, "Dude, let's do it." He was like, "Okay, cool, it's done." So I was like, "Yes." And we get back to Houston, nothing happens. Like that conversation
Ah.
never came back up. It was just like, what the fuck? So, but I mean, I just kept going with it. Kept going with it over the time. That's when I started traveling a lot. I started traveling a whole lot individually and still would have a Coro. And one year I moved to Bangkok. I moved to Bangkok in 2011. I moved to Bangkok after an India tour. Spent the year in Bangkok teaching, performing, doing all the things in Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
Moved back to Houston, and that's when I started my dance theater company. And the year I came back is the year that officially I was inducted into Havercore.
Right.
So it wasn't just like an overnight thing or like, oh, you're practicing, you're cool with us now, like here's a t-shirt. It was like this might be like a 2 or 3 year span, 3 or 4 years from like me getting introduced until like they were actually having a conversation with me, um, almost like an induction meeting. So yeah, that's how I got into Havercore.
That's awesome. Shout out Mario Jaramillo, man.
Yeah,
That's my dude. That was
yeah,
back like I met him back when I first started dancing.
nice.
And that was 92,
Yeah,
I want to say. So 90, 90,
I was in the
91,
second
92.
grade, dude.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
ain't
We're
told
we're we're much older than you, bro.
him.
So how important to your life would you say house music or just music in general? How important to your life? I mean, it seems like you're kind of like me. Your life kind of circles around
Yeah.
dance music for me, but how important is it to you?
Music is everything, dude. And I was thinking to myself yesterday, because I have nostalgic moments in certain music, not just house, but just in general. And I come to the conclusion for me, and I can't speak about nobody else, but for me, music is really therapeutic,
Oh
like
yeah.
seriously. Um, and with that being said, that's how important music is to me. And when you start breaking down the genres, my favorite genre, of course, is house music. I absolutely love house music, all types of house music. I love dancing to the music, not so much the commercial aspect of it, but I like that deep grungy stuff. You know, like you know what I'm saying,
Oh
the good
yeah.
stuff. Oh yeah. So house music is definitely a part of my DNA. And like I said earlier, it chose me, and I didn't resist. So yeah, very important.
Besides house music, what else? Well, we talked about the hip hop.
Yeah.
Besides house music, what else moves you?
Man, ballet funk. I'm a piano funk. Dembe, I think that's what it's called.
Dembe, yeah. Dembo.
Uh, Dimbo, yeah, yes. Man, those beats are heavy, dude. Of course, R&B, of course, hip hop, of course, funk. I love disco. Pretty much anything and everything, dude. I'm consistently looking for new sounds, new ways to express myself through the music. And my playlist is like all over the place because like I don't necessarily always want to listen to the same things I always have. Like I'll just hit the radio on a song and just take a deep dive into something to see where I land. And that's where I really start finding the good stuff. So yeah, I mean, dude, you have gospel music. Like I was jamming gospel all day Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Because that's like my roots, my Southern Black roots. You know, I can, like I said, it's therapeutic. Like whatever I'm feeling in the moment, I can find a playlist to go along with it. I can go from that. You know, sometimes I'm turned up. I want to hear March Madness by Future. You know, like it all depends. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel that. No, for sure.
Yeah.
I was having a conversation with Mario a couple of days ago. He popped up on IG, and then he invited me to join live. And so we popped up, and we were talking about gospel music because I have my personal saying, or what is the term, epitaph or whatever, for
Yeah.
dance music. Is it music is a spiritual healing force. And then he brought up the fact that, he heard me play like a full gospel set of
Yeah.
gospel house. And I was telling him I have a mix that I've been working on called When the Spirit Calls. And
Yeah.
it really, I know it's a little bit odd, a Muslim man, like a Muslim guy playing, like this kind of like
Yeah.
gospel-y stuff. But I mean, I feel that stuff, man. I mean, you can't help it when, when
Yeah.
they're talking about, these spiritual things and just an uplifting sound. It's contagious, man. And
Yeah.
probably one of the most um, influential parts of the music to me is like, like kind of emotional music, like big ballady kind of like vocals and the old disco vocals, anything that's kind of screaming. I love that, man. And
Yeah.
I try and
Same.
like have that, you know twist that into the music when I'm playing, and
Yeah.
hopefully people understand it, because to
Yeah.
me, I mean, music, I've had some really powerful moments playing music, just being behind the DJ booth. But I always wonder with other people how, if they've ever had like an emotional moment with music. And I wanted to ask you that. You ever had like a really deep emotional connection to music?
Yes. I can talk about two recent experiences because of course I know it spans way before what I can remember right now. So I'm getting ready for I got a crazy lineup of shows coming up. Like this lineup is crazy. It's
Nice.
crazy.
Oh, I
It's,
believe it.
um,
You're
I
one of the hardest working dancers in the city, man. I swear. I
appreciate it.
see you on everything, bro.
I
It's
appreciate it,
amazing.
man. Thank you, man.
I'm your
Y'all gave me
cheerleader in the
talent.
background, dog. I really am.
Thank you. But so working on this show, I already had an idea of what I wanted to do and whatnot. And it's this one song, that particular song that I've heard. I'm not gonna say the song because I want to use it, and then y'all can. I'll tell you after I produce it.
Got it.
Produce the show. But I mean, I was thinking about the ideas and the concepts of the song, getting the true feel of the song, and the spirit behind the song. Dude, like I was on my way home from somewhere, whatever it was. But this is how I process music and sound when it comes to dance. Like I'm in my car, literally with tears coming down my eyes, like just like I'm just like this is like it's that moment of like I found the song, like I found exactly what I want to express, and it's not even tears or like sadness, it's not even joy. It's just like it's an emotion. It's a deep rooted emotion that came out, and I was like, this is the song I'm gonna use. So that was moment. That was one moment. And last year I was in Amsterdam for Summer Dance Forever, um, and I went to I think it's called Zion Gate. I think 100%. I think I'm 100% sure. Yes, it's called Zion Gate. It's Zion Gate,
Okay.
um, and their style of music is I mean it's deep. It's Afro tech. I mean like tribal Afro tech, like
Nice.
hella tribal Afro tech. So I'm in Summer Dance Forever. I mean it's thousands of dancers from across the world, and like not just dancers, but like high level dancers across the world, top tier. Zion Gate, they have this logo. They have a neon logo that they place above the DJs at every party that they play. And of course that comes on. So we already know what time it is. It's a Zion Gate party. It's dark in there. The bass. I mean, so Summer Dance Forever. It's in a old church which they converted into a concert venue. Concert venue, of course, has really good sound. This place has amazing sound. I mean, you can stand next to the speaker with the bass hitting you, and still have a decent conversation without screaming. That's how that's how powerful the sound is. So at one part of the night, I don't know what song was going. Dude, I'm in the back just watching. Like I'm standing on the bleachers. I'm just watching the crowd, listening to the MC. DJ is deep in it, dude. And I'm just screaming. I'm screaming and I'm crying, dude. Like I'm full in, dude. I'm screaming and I'm crying. Like it's just because it's just a train of emotions just hit me. Just thinking about certain things, thinking about family situations, thinking about where I'm at in the moment, thinking about the music, thinking about where I come from and where I'm at right now in dance, thinking about the fact that I'm in Amsterdam right now, experiencing this. It's just a list of things, thinking about how grateful I am to still be doing this. On the level that I'm doing it at, in this, you know what I'm saying, in this arena with these people. It's just like it was just so many elements, and all of it just hit me at once, like boom. And it's just like it was just, dude, I was just like just overly overwhelmed with emotion. So yeah, those are two experiences in recent days that I've had with music and house music. You can play something? Don't
Yeah, I
make me
think
cry.
I'm gonna try.
Don't make me cry.
So it's a song called "Rescue Me" by Sun Kids. This is one of those songs that this is the original mix. I think the Masters of Work remix to me is probably the most impactful.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is one of those songs that gets me. It's like one of those songs that you play when you're getting ready to get the day going, right?
On top of that, that's Aretha, baby. Let's go.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean that's my I've had some really incredible moments, but one of those was I was playing for a party called Rent. I had been invited to be kind of a resident DJ of that, and I had just come out of like it's really interesting. You got to imagine like when I came into the rave kind of world, it wasn't really my world. I was a hip hop kid who loved to dance, who went to this world where, you know, kids were kind of doing like the Running Man style dance, and you know, wasn't really a ton of creativity. You know,
yeah, I get what you're saying.
I give it to them for being creative, of course, but at the same time, like it was just very limited, the movements, to being introduced to it. And then about a year, maybe 2 years into it, where I was like full on, like full time DJing, the rug got pulled from underneath me because the rave business was dead. Everything was moving to clubs. I wasn't really much of a club guy anymore. I was just playing like cool underground music that was a little bit more obscure than what you could play in a nightclub setting. Yeah. So Rent kind of brought it back for me because they were playing gospel. They were playing vocal, big tunes, you know, that were appealing to me. And so like I'm sitting there DJing and I'm like, I got my voice back because I've always felt like music was a way for me to express who I am, right?
Yeah.
And I felt like it kind of got pulled from me because not a lot of people were going out for underground styles of music. And so I just broke down crying, like in the middle of a set. I just ducked my head below the the mixer, and I was just tears of joy just kind of ringing out. And I remember sitting behind me was Little Martin, and I turned to him and I'm like, dude, I'm literally fucking crying right now. This is so amazing. Yeah. So
I mean, what else can you do in that moment?
Yeah, you can't really
write a letter.
Really, that's it.
Someone give me a pen.
Exactly, man. So I just feel like I've been really privileged. I've been blessed with the opportunity to entertain people in Houston and be a part of that that scene, and been blessed that people allowed me into their lives to kind of express myself the way I wanted to. So it is special, man. You know, it's very special when you can do something and do it out loud and do it in front of people, and then they reciprocate a level of appreciation, you know. So that's dope. And that's what I'm trying to do here too, man. I would consider you one of the hardest working dudes in the dance music scene right now. Now that's from me, an outsider's perspective looking in. So, you know, there may be other guys that are out there hustling too, but I like that you've got, it's Sun-Kissed, right?
My dance theater company. Yeah.
Dance theater company, Sunkissed, and you know you were always trying to keep that alive and keep that production going,
Yes.
and in every iteration, you know, I try to support as much as possible. Although
Appreciate it.
I don't think I've gone to one yet, but you know,
It's all good, man.
there's
Like,
always a time.
oh, yeah, like I tell people all the time, it's like, man, I still haven't seen one of your shows. Like, bro, it's not going nowhere. You know, it's not the McRib at McDonald's. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Oh yeah, you're here. As long as
Yeah.
yeah, it's the same thing with me. As long as I'm
Well,
6 feet
yeah.
above, you're
And,
going to
and
see. I'm going to be doing something. If you come and see it, great.
and
If not, you'll get the next one.
and it'd be beautiful if it stays here without me. You know what I'm saying? If I
Yeah.
transition and it stays here, like that's what I think about when I'm creating. I don't think about like what's now, what's happening. I think about so one of the biggest names in dance is Alvin Ailey.
Right.
Alvin
Sure.
Ailey, yeah. Alvin Ailey died years ago,
Hmm.
decades ago, but his company is still a force
Yeah.
uh, in the dance world, a force. So when I'm creating, when I'm just thinking about the things of how I want to move, I start thinking about things like that. So yeah, I have for the aspect of, I'll put it this way, I've created a platform for every part of me. Um, yeah, I've created a platform for everything that I'm into. For when it comes to like dance theater background, when I want to produce dance, I have Sunkissed dance concepts.
Right.
Underground, I want to give opportunities to other dancers. I created a Texas Street Dance Weekend, my competition that I just started last year, and I'm doing it this year. You
Dope.
know, so when I just want to just be artsy fartsy and creative or whatnot, want to give back, I have dance classes every Wednesday at an art gallery. You know, when I just want to vibe with music, I'll reach out to a coffee shop. I'll reach out to something where I can really control a vibe without it being like a club situation. Like, yo, let me do a set. I'm down to do whatever you want to. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
found ways to express myself and build what I'm into, because if I like it, somebody else likes it. And like I said earlier, God gave me this talent, dude. I'm gonna use it. Like, I don't want to waste it. And I've seen the fruits of the labor of I put in like I've seen the fruits of the labor. The labor. I'm talking crazy right now. I've seen what dance has gotten me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and I don't take that for granted. So I keep going, I keep pushing, I keep pressing. Also, um, there's generations under me that need to be mentored, that need to be put on. You know what I'm saying? That need opportunity. So I build that and I create that. I go to the top of the mountain. You know what I'm saying? Go talk to the corporate entities. I bring back a platform like, yo, I got bread for y'all. Let's do this show. You know what I'm saying? Auditions, whatnot. Let's make it happen. I'm happy to say at this point right now, um, I'm able to pay every dancer I work with,
That's awesome, man.
no matter what it is. You know what I'm saying?
That's a very, very tough thing to achieve,
I
honestly.
wasn't always able to do that, you know, and I'm proud and I'm grateful. Like, I'm not changing your life, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to Jamaica on this check, but you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, no, I'm the
But,
same. Yeah, we
yeah,
try and pay our artists what we can do, and
yeah,
we've got a scale that we pay them by, and you know,
yeah.
we
So,
put it
and
in, we present it to them, and we say, hey, are you good with this? Yeah, okay, great. Well, let's keep building. You know.
so yeah, man, that's why I work, dude. It's like I love what I do. I love it. I absolutely love it, and I wouldn't do anything else outside of this. And it's another thing to say. Another thing that I'm proud of. I'm a full-time artist living in Houston, Texas.
Yeah,
Like,
that's a
living in Houston, Texas. Like, my place is here. Like, I don't just come here and then I make my money in other cities. You know what I'm saying?
hey,
I'm right here. I'm at home right now. I'm right here.
yeah,
And it's a blessing to be like, because we're oil and gas, big
oh
business,
yeah,
corporate. Yeah, it's a very corporate city,
yeah,
and for me to be a full-time artist is I mean it's one of the things that I'm proud of.
yeah. Well, it's really great to have you as part of the crew, and I've always respected who you are in the city, and it's always
Thank
good to see people keeping this culture alive and keep pushing this. I'm gonna play a song because it reminds me of you.
Really, let's go for it.
Which way
Start over. One of my favorite songs. You
got
got
me? Well, in your decide which way I'm stuck. I've been here before.
Yeah, when it kicks
Man.
in. I mean,
No,
that's
it's the beginning. So here's from a dancer's perspective with that song.
Okay.
Songs like this. So songs like this come on. Like if the inexperienced dancer has to back up,
right.
Because you're not hitting those words. You're not hitting, like if you can't hit that first. You know what I'm saying? You got me in your. If you can't hit those, get out the way. Let the work can do it. Wait for the beat to drop, and then you know what I'm saying, it's for everybody.
Yeah,
the beat
exactly.
for everybody. But like if you can't.
That's right.
Man, you gotta get out the way for this one, yeah. It's one of those songs. You gotta get out the way.
What do you got in your your Spotify playlist that would surprise people that you know? All my exes live in Texas.
Dude, I can. Hey, while you playing, I can get down with country, dude. 90s country, 90s, 80s country.
Yeah.
I'm all. I'm locked in with country.
Okay, yeah.
Stars on the water. Stars on the water. You got stars. Okay, yeah.
I'm not there.
Dude, yeah, I got some country, heavy country, and I think
that's Stapleton stuff, man. That Stapleton dude, he's super soulful, man. I really like that dude.
Chris I got
Stapleton.
George Strait on there, you know. I got
you got some corn.
Let's go, girls. You know, like all the things. Going on tonight, because it's feel good music, dude.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Like,
I get it.
I don't block myself from like, okay, that's talking about this. Like, I'm not into that. You know what I'm saying? It's feel good music, and it's good music, you know. And even when I'm DJing, it depends on who's in front of me. I play that. That's a banger to certain people.
Yeah,
it's a banger. You know what I'm saying? I can go from that. You know what I'm saying? I got some Adele. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay.
She has an amazing voice, dude. Amazing voice to me. She has an amazing voice.
And my roots are Mexican, so you know I like some Mexican. I love me some Mexican music, man. Like Los Tigres del Norte, man. Their music though, like what I love about some of these like working class blue collar music is it's all about like the struggle, you know.
Yes.
And it's just beautifully put. I mean, the words might annoy people just because of the way they sing and all that stuff, and it's pretty repetitive. But I mean, shit, that's what people sometimes say about house music. You know, it's like it's the same beat over and over again. But
it is. Until the breakdowns coming, it's like you don't hear the difference in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There's a song called "De Paisano a Paisano" that is it's about the immigrant's story. And every time I hear that song, it makes me cry because like my parents were born and raised in Texas. They're Tejanos, right? They're Texas Mexicans. Yeah. But my wife's family kind of had to do that struggle, right? The cross the border, the work, the tough jobs, you know, all that stuff. To me, hearing that just makes me think like if somebody hadn't done that, I wouldn't found the love of my life, right? Or if someone hadn't made that struggle, you know, would we really understand what it means to be an immigrant trying to make it in the promised land, not in the promised land, but in make a better life for themselves in America. And so I love that story, you know. And it may not be dance influenced or whatever, but for me, I'm like,
we can make a story, dude. Anything can be translated into dance or any style of art, anything. That's what's special about art is the story behind it. You know, it's the stories behind the art that makes the art just like that pulls you in. No story, no art.
Your art is very physical. Do you find yourself? Do you have to have a ton of energy to start creating? Like, do you do things early in the morning, or what does that look like? What does your creative process look like? What's the situations that help you kind of be more creative? What does that look like for you?
So it doesn't turn off for me, but I have to use it in other aspects, not as physical as I wish I would be right now, because I'm on the administrative side of it, like entrepreneur side of it, you know. So I'm contracts, I'm negotiating, I'm emails, you know, I'm invoicing, you know, I'm looking for the dollars. I'm creating the shows, I'm writing out the shows, I'm proposing the shows, I'm writing the grants. I'm organizing the photo shoots. I'm finding the photographers. I'm hiring I'm all those things. But I love all that stuff because I'm still using my creative aspect to make that happen. And then, of course, in rehearsal, when I'm still practicing, it's still physical for me. And it doesn't take much because I try to stay inspired. I
Right.
save a lot of things from Instagram. I have a whole folder of saved things. I text myself every time I get like an idea or inspiration. I text myself so I won't forget. So at any moment, I'll just go to my text messages, look at everything that I've saved. I have folders in my phone of ideas. Like even when I'm brainstorming, like the shows I have coming up, any idea pops in, I put it on that list because it can go. And you know what I'm saying? So I have things all around me, and even um,
So it's an
the
all day
community
process for you. It's like
all day.
it's all day. There's no like because I wake up in the morning and I'll either do stuff like early in the morning, which is the best time because I have the most headspace and energy available for
Yeah,
it, or I'll do it like late at night. Like this is technically not really late at night, but I go to bed at like 10:30, 11 o'clock. So
yeah,
this is late for me, but
yeah,
that's what it looks like for me because I have to I've got to do a day job. You know what I'm saying? But for you, it's just all day, kind of like scribbling, making
yeah.
sketches, so to speak.
But don't get it. Yes. So I also get inspired by people around me. I've tailored my life now to where I'm hanging around people that inspire me, like-minded people, or just people just on that's pushing the lines a little bit higher in their perspective area, their perspective art. So I can easily fall back and just go and hang out at someone's studio or go to someone else's rehearsal or go to a gallery. But this is not me all day, every day. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's case by case scenario.
Right.
And one thing I've picked up and I've taught myself, and this is through, of course, like maturity. This is through therapy. This is through just recognizing and realizing that like where your traumas sometimes lie. I'm starting to focus on like rest. Like I don't have to be productive all day, every day. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like resting is also productive because the burnout is something serious, and the burnout is the reason a lot of people quit whatever it is. It's the burnout. They didn't focus on rest, and a lot of times we're forced as Americans. America tells us to go, 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 go. Even if it's and sometimes that can just be that wheel, just like it just keeps spinning. So in the moments of me finding rest, I'm getting more energy, and I'm letting ideas develop. I'm letting moments develop. I can't force anything. I can't force someone to email me back. I can't force, so I have to, in between times, I have to rest and not stress over whatever that thing is. Whatever that thing is going to come, it's going to be here regardless, I believe, because what's for me is for me, what's for you is for you.
Right.
And we can rush it a lot of times because timing is everything. So in the midst of doing all the things I just listed, I do factor in like rest. And sometimes that looks like me watching 2 episodes of Martin.
Yeah.
I want to wake up and it's like, you know what? I'm not going to touch my laptop. I'm just going to sit on this couch and just like, you know what I'm saying? Watch 2 episodes of Martin and eat some granola cereal. And
Yeah.
and then after that, I'm ready to do whatever. But sometimes like there's some things pressing. Like I need to get this done. There's a deadline for this. Like even Saturday, I got an email for a photo shoot. In my mind, I'm like, this organization is closed on the weekends, but they're still emailing me. So if they're working on something, I need to be working too, because this is why people like to work with professionals, because they understand, they get it. So and it was pressing questions that need to be answered right now. So I do those things when it needs to be done. Even when I'm out, like I'm always scouting, I'm looking. The space that exposure is going to be at Saturday. I went last Tuesday. I was like, oh, this place is dope. and
Yeah.
I'm going again tomorrow. Just and then that's coming from networking. I just got a text message right now. It popped up on my screen from a past relationship. That's like I'm guaranteed they wanted to hire me for something. So it's the life. You know what I'm saying? It's the full circle. It's the journey of life,
Yeah.
and it hasn't always been like that, but I'm blessed to be able to do it for such a long time, to where, like I've said, I can see the fruits of the labor of being productive while resting
Uh,
now.
yeah, of course. I'm actually kind of the opposite, quite honestly. I'm naturally, well, I would say, naturally, I have a depressive nature,
Mhm.
so I procrastinate on my creative ventures. I'm passionate about them,
Yeah,
but it's one of those things that some days, I go through the stink, right?
yeah,
The part of the part of depression that really makes it tough for me to do anything for self-care, anything for
yeah,
what I love and what I care about, even when it comes to relationships.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, I mean, I have that same type of energy when I'm locked in, but if I have a bad day or something like that, it's really hard for me to disconnect. And actually, the best way for me to do that is to escape into music. And
yeah,
I practice probably more than maybe more, if not, a lot more than what normal DJs might, just because it's more of a release way for me to get rid of energy. It kind of helps support me in my emotional state as well. I do a lot of therapy as well. I believe in talk therapy. I think it's
yeah.
important. For your creative process, though, who would you say nurtured that in you the most?
My creative process. Um, so I gotta I hate to do this, but I gotta break it up. For like performance dance, it would be Harrison Guy from Urban Souls.
Nice.
And for the underground coming up, it's Mario with Havocoro. So and then of course, like then that's in the city, and then I lived in New York for a while. So when I was younger, when I found house music, I wanted more. I moved to New York, and I wanted like I went to the source, dude. I dropped everything, found a room in New York. I went to the class. I went to the practice session, and I went to the club. I was getting off the train when people going to work. That's how deep in the culture I was actually. But even like so, I can still reach out to OGs in New York, um, as well as of course the cats that I have that lifted me up,
Yeah.
that that pretty much poured into me, because in on my path, I was very solo dolo, and then I kind of still like rock like that now, but yeah, I'm the only child, man. I do okay by myself, so it's nothing for me to rock solo dolo.
Yeah, that's really cool to hear. I mean, you really, like, even in my professional life, I surround myself with people who have achieved a lot, who've gone from, like me, comes from very humble beginnings and then kind of made their way into business. But I took that same aspect. It's funny, man. I wish I had known all the stuff I know now about business back then, so that I could have just probably taken
Yeah,
my initiative and my desire to do this as a living and kind of done more. But I think, God puts things in your life at a particular time, and you can't be regretful of that. You just got to take it and then keep going, right?
yeah,
And so I like that I learned it. And who knows, man? I mean, the nightclub life it's a tough life. It's not all real. A lot of
yeah.
it's
Smoking mirrors,
very
baby.
surface. Yes, smoke and mirrors, all flash, no cash.
Yeah,
It's a tough one to live in. But yeah, I found myself naturally just learning from good people, and then surrounding myself with people I wanted stuff from, not in a financial sense, but it ended up that way, right? Like, it was more of like a mindset
yeah,
that I wanted from the people that I surrounded myself with.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, like guys like Mario, I mean, they're constantly focused on personal improvement, making yourself better. We all slip up, we all make mistakes, but as long as we can, it's how we get up and how we rise above those situations. And that, yeah, you're surrounded by some really solid cats, man. And you know, so hopefully, you know, I like to consider myself a friend of yours. So, you know, you're always welcome to reach out to me too, man.
Sir. Yes, sir.
So how do people find out about you? Where do they find you? Where's your websites, or you got Feet Finder? You got a OnlyFans? What's hey, that was an ugly answer. Dancers' feet are not the prettiest feet.
These are my shoes. Right now, the best place to find me is Instagram. I changed servers recently from with my email, and I'm all discombobulated with this right now. So I'm gonna have to outsource it to somebody to rebuild my site. Yeah, I just wasn't happy with my server, so like that now that happened, whatever. But I'm active on Instagram. You can I'm
Instagram
I use
at
it every
It's
day.
Young Chris.
Yes, it's ITSYUNG, the urban way. CHRIS. Yeah, it's Young Chris on Instagram for now. So yeah. And if you need work samples, holler at me. I got them. I'll send you some links. But yeah.
Yeah, we'll provide links in the show notes below on the YouTube version of this.
Let's go. But yeah,
just send it to me and then I'll put it up there for you.
hey,
Any
I got
final- Go ahead.
I want to say, if you're in, man, I got some. Will you be here in September? So the competition that I throw in Houston is called the Texas Street Dance Weekend. Last year was the first year. This year, of course, the second year. But it's 7 of Smoke House and 2 on 2 open styles. I bring in 2 local judges and I fly in a judge. It's amazing. I'm really enjoying it. And this week I'm releasing the location because the location is crazy. Who thought that I would get something like this? But I got it. It's
Dope.
crazy. It's amazing. So yeah.
What's the date on that?
It'll be September. The competition is September 21st. So check this out. September 20th, we got booked to perform at Mill Outdoor Theater. So
Nice.
and I'm dropping a house piece.
All right.
So
Hell
yeah. And I just said it out loud. So that's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah. That was my first time saying it publicly. But yeah, and then like the week before that, I'll be at the Hobby Center. You know, like it's just like boom, 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 boom. And then in a 6-month span, like I'm hitting all these prestigious dance stages. And in March, I got commissioned. And that's the big one. I can't say anything because I'm under an NDA. Okay. So look out for that information that's happening. Like I'm producing, I got commissioned for a piece for a show, Sunkiss, Young Chris, choreographer at this place. It's yeah.
I'm excited for you, bro.
Yes,
I'm like
man,
super hyped.
Yeah, it's blowing me away. This is like a God dream. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh man.
I'm blown away.
That's
I'm
beautiful,
blown
bro.
away. But yeah, I'm looking forward to all of this stuff. But yeah, of course, I'll send you all the information. Show up to what you can. You know what I'm saying? You live in that high life in Atlanta, ATLANTAGA. That's where I stay.
Yeah, man. I love it out here, man. It's like everything, like, you know, our music is people developed and built by people of color, you know? And this is like next to New York and Chicago, it's the spot, man. It's the spot you want to be.
I gotta pull up. When's the next time you DJing?
So I do a third Sunday event,
Okay.
and it's you know, it's pretty modest. It's a pretty modest event. I haven't been inviting anybody out yet to play just because I'm trying to build it up, you know, just my way, doing it my way. So
That's when I come dance.
It'll come, but I love it, man. It's a beautiful city. I say this all the time. It's a lot better for me to pay $25 to $40 to go see a DJ that I would naturally bring to Houston, that I would end up spending thousands of dollars and then maybe ended up losing money, You
Oh
know,
yeah.
so I'll gladly
Really?
pay 25, $40 to
Yeah.
support this scene. And like,
Yeah.
you know, it just works better here. There's so much talent in this city, man. There's
Yeah.
not to underplay Houston. I mean, Houston,
Yeah.
the level of talent there. I was having this conversation the other day. Like, people just they have no clue. You know, you got guys like there's this kid, a real young guy, SP, who's coming up, and he's got Mood to Move, and those guys
Yes.
are making huge moves. I mean,
Yes.
huge. They're doing parties here in Atlanta and in Houston. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just respect, man. Respect. I love to see young guys doing
Yeah.
their thing, keeping this thing alive, the house music thing alive, and
Yeah.
bringing a younger crowd to it. Like, I'm all for it, man. I mean, it's going to be a lot of older cats out there that are going to hate on young people's interpretation of
The
what
change of the guards, it always happens like
it
that.
always. I mean, you were
Changing the
there,
guards.
bro.
No
You were
one,
there for that.
yeah, like no one, like you're gonna dislike the younger generation of how they do it because it's not your way. You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
Like it's always that. It's in countries. It's like what's happening right now in America politically. It's like
Yeah,
every time the changing the guards happens, it's like it's tension.
yeah, man.
So that's just a thing.
Exactly, man.
I gotta recognize. So that's one of the things I've recognized and I focus on and I pay attention to when I'm working with, you know what I'm saying, younger dancers, the younger generation. I don't want to be, you know my story. I don't
Yeah,
want to be, you
man.
know what I'm saying, what I experienced to, you know what I'm saying, to them. So I'm changing that narrative.
Yeah. Well, we're really excited, man. I'm really excited to have you as part of this, and we're gonna do something special in August. We'll talk about it offline, but we're gonna do something special in August. Like, I really want, like, my whole idea behind exposure and my addition to the team is just about like we're creating a culture, and we're part of that, right? We're part of that as DJs, but then I think that if we start encompassing the dance aspect and do like what people do for salsa events, you know, like an hour before salsa starts, you get salsa lessons for free. You know, why not do that with house music? You know, why not do that with a house event and then incorporate you into it? But you know,
I
we
like
got to
this
see if
thing.
we
I like this venue y'all are using. I like this venue.
it's dope, man. Yeah. I think it would be dope to have you do, you know,
It's
do a little session beforehand.
and it's plenty of space.
Yeah. So for everybody listening out here, you're kind of looking into my mind right now. We still haven't made that official yet, but we're looking to kind of create it over the big picture eventually. So yeah. But yeah, thanks for visiting with me, my friend. You got any final shout outs?
Man, shout out to everyone that wants to receive a shout out from me.
Man, you ain't send me a shout out. Yeah, you did. Just now.
There it is. Like when I post a flyer on Instagram, I was like, this is your invite. This is your invite. Like, I don't always got your name on the top of my head.
Right.
Rock with you. So this is your invite. So this is my shout out to everybody, you know?
Yeah. All right, brother. It was great talking to you. We will catch
Thank you,
up with
man.
you
Again,
this
thank
Saturday.
you for having me. Yes, I love sharing.
My pleasure, brother.
Let's go.
Peace.
Exposure Saturday. Bing, bing, bing,
Beep, beep,
bing.
beep.